Hi, today we're going to be working on your assignment, decimals divided by decimals. And I kind of talked a little bit about this in class just the other day, but I'm going to actually do these first four together with us. I'm just going to work through them with you, and you can follow along with me. And hopefully you'll kind of get the idea. If you need more help, I also have office hours today. I know this one's kind of a different one. It's a new concept to sixth grade. So I've written my problem here on my board right here, and I'm going to be calling this sign right here the house. You may have heard me say that before. And with dividing decimals by decimals, we always think outside the house, and this is inside the house. And so we go outside, inside, raise it to the roof. You'll hear me say that over and over again today. Outside, inside, raise it to the roof. And what I mean is, I'm going to take the decimal number outside the house, and I'm going to create a number that is not a fraction. It's not a decimal. I'm going to make it into a whole number. And I'm going to move the decimal twice to do that. And I'm going to call this number now 58. I'm going to ignore the zero, and I'm just going to think of this number as 58. Now, in order to do that, it's just like fractions. If I move the decimal twice outside the house, I have to move it twice inside the house. 1, 2. And I need to now raise that to the roof. So now the decimal's not here, but it's over here. And now I'm just going to pretend like the decimals are gone, and I'm going to simply divide. So 58 can't go into 0, can't go into 5, can't go into 55. I'm going to think of it as going into 556. And my answer is going to go right above the 6 right here. So my answer is a decimal point answer. It's a smaller answer. So 58 goes into 556. So I'm going to think about that for a minute. What is a guess that I would make? I'm going to estimate right now and try to get as close as I can. When I'm thinking 58, I'm going to actually think 60 and count by 60s. 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360. And I'm just counting literally by sixes with a 0 on the end. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48 is 6 times 8. And then 9 times 6 is 54. So I'm going to guess 9 times. Oops, you can't see that on there. Okay, so I'm going to guess 9 times. That's my estimation. So now I'm going to actually do 58 times 9 just to check that out. 9 times 8 is 72. Write my 2, carry my 7. And 9 times 5 is 45. Plus 7 is 52. That's going to work. So I'm going to say 58 goes into 556 9 whole times. That's divide. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Those are my steps. Does McDonald's sell burgers? Now I'm going to multiply. 9 times 58. Oh, good. I've got it right here. Never erase your answers.
Giovanna, please come to the
Never
office.
erase your answers. Now I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 2 is 4. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 5 minus 5 is 0. Lastly, I'm going to bring down the 8. Now I go back to divide. 58 goes into 348. Well, 60 times 6 is 360. So I'm going to go back one, and I'm going to say maybe 58 times 5, right? 58 times 5, because 6 times 5 is 30. So we'll go 58 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40, carry my 4. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. Now, do I think I could fit another 58 in there? Let's see. Oops. I'm going to try to add another 58, just in case. Maybe it could have gone 6 times. 0 plus 8 is 8. 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry my 1. Oh, there it is, 348. So it could have gone 6 times. So I'm going to say 6 times. And my answer I would type in is 0.96. Okay. Number 2 will seem a lot easier than number 1, right? 0.2. It would actually read like this. 0 and 12 hundredths divided by 2 tenths. And these zeros don't mean anything at all. They don't mean anything at all. Let me go back to my screen down here. I have to go outside, inside, raise it to the roof. Outside one place, inside one place, raise it to the roof. 2 can't go into 0, can't go into 1. 2 goes into 12 6 times, and I write that 6 above the 12, above the 2 and the 12. And I'm totally done. My answer is 0.6. Right? Seemed easy compared to the first one. Number 3 says 0.1995 divided by 0.7. Once again, I'm going to go back to my screen here and show you what I'm doing. Outside 1, inside 1, raise it to the roof. 7. Now I'm just thinking 7. I'm forgetting all of this other stuff. I've got my decimal holding its place. 7 can't go into 0, can't go into 1. It goes into 19. 2 times, because 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to write that 2 right above the 9 because it's going into 19. 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract. I'm going to subtract now. 19 minus 14 is 5. Bring down the next 9. Back to divide when I go after I bring down. 7 goes into 59. 8 times 7 is 56. Subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. 5 minus 5 is 0. Bring down my last 5. Back to divide. 7 goes into 35 5 times. And then I'm done. So my answer is 2.85. Last one I'm going to do with you again is a little bit wonky because we're going to have to add a 0 at the end, but you're pretty used to this. This is 1 and 2 tenths divided by 1 and 5 tenths. You're like, already you should be saying, Mrs. Hunley, that number is not big enough, right? 1 and 2 tenths is bigger than 1 and 5 tenths. So you're right. We're going to have to do something to make that work. I'm going to first move my decimals. Outside the house, inside the house, raise it to the roof. And then I'm going to add a 0 because I'm going to need a 0. 15 can't go into 1, can't go into 12. This is why I added that 0. Goes into 120. If you count by 15s, right? 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I write the 8 above the 0 because it was going into 120. And then I am done. My answer is 0.8. We knew it was going to be less than 1 because 1.5 and 1.2 is smaller than 1.5. So we knew the answer was smaller than a whole number. Okay. Try to do the rest on your own. And if you need to rewatch the video, you can. And if you need help this afternoon, I will be online at 1:30. Thanks a lot.